All right, guys, I'm so happy to be back again. I know we took a little bit of a break. I had too much work with Farid, working and helping so many juniors and adult players like yourself. But I'm really happy to see you. I mean, although I can't see you, but I can picture all your faces of those 37,000 people in front of me just watching this video right now. So really glad to be back. Now, in the previous video, Aritz was talking about pronation and the difference between pronation and supination, and I think we're just gonna follow up a little bit with another part of the arm swing on the serve, what's the appropriate arch swing, and I'm gonna bust a myth today that you probably heard. I hope you didn't, but if you did, I'm gonna have to bust that myth for you, and I hope you're not gonna cry in front of your phones or computers or whatnot. But you know, when I was growing up, and I heard a lot of this. Coaches saying that, you know, you got to brush your hair and then serve, and you might have done it, but you see this is a big problem. Now go pause right here and you can go and check every good server. I want you to check every server that has a good serve. Roger Federer, Djokovic, currently, not before, Del Potro, whoever, and check if they actually brushing their hair as they're serving. And you'll find out they don't do that. They don't do that motion. Why you shouldn't do it? Because when you start doing this motion, you start brushing. Well, first of all, it's too close to your head, right? So you're already more cautious. You're not swinging. You're not dropping your racket as aggressively as you could. Secondly, your swing becomes more linear, and you can only come up with flatter serve. So, for example, slide serve is going to be a little bit of a problem, and kick serve you can forget about it, because when you're going to toss slightly to your left, with this motion is going to be so much harder to generate kick serve. So, what's the right motion of your arm? Actually, after you get in the trophy position, and of course we know there's a delayed swing for the serve, right? I know there's also just a regular classic swing when you bring your racket up for a trophy position. You actually, from this point, have to drop your racket back down this way. So your whole forearm with the racket is going to drop this way. You can see it clearly, right? So it would look more like that. You're going to drop, bring your racket up, and you're going to generate a lot more racket head speed. So now, I hope you guys are not disappointed about what you have learned, and hopefully if you didn't, you're probably high-fiving your whoever's next to you and you're saying, yes, I learned the right technique. Now, so we got the first part of the swing. A lot of times you probably heard your coaches saying, hey, you got to accelerate your racket, you got to increase the racket head speed. And it's totally true, you should do it, but when do you do it? When you max your racket head speed? That's a very important question. Because did you find yourself sometimes getting set up, you're like, okay, all right, you know, I'm not going to push this serve today, and I'm actually going to accelerate, and it's like 20 feet out. And you're looking back and you're like, man, I went with all this racket head speed, and the ball is not even remotely close. And your coach is like, accelerate even more, you'll bring the ball in. You go, okay, I'm going to do it. And you go, and nothing even close to the court. So now the question is, when do you max out your racket head speed? So when you start, let's say, I will give you numbers. It's all approximate. I don't know what level you are and how fast you can accelerate. But when you start the swing, you're going to drop your racket here. Let's say you start the swing at 10 miles an hour, right? So you go from 10 to 15, 20, 30, 40, 50. And right through the point of contact, when your racket is coming up to the ball, you're going to max out your racket head speed, right? So you're going to go from here, you're going to slow it down a little bit, and then you can get it closer. I actually missed the serve, but it was much closer, right? So, and then you can play around with it. So as soon as you get the right toss, you can accelerate right through the point of contact. Now, why would you do that? Why wouldn't you just go as fast as you can? Because you want to have increased racket head speed throughout the swing, which will keep the ball on your racket longer. That's why you get a nice feeling, and the release point was going to be slightly in front of you, which will bring the ball closer, and you will be able to make the ball in the service box. All right, guys, so you see, here's the myth that I busted already, right? You cannot bring your racket here. So let's work and see if we can do all three serves, slice, kick, and flat serve with that motion. So you're going to try to focus, do a few shadow swing before to get the feel of it. And of course, depending on what level you are and how easy it gets to you, sometimes it takes only a few seconds and you already click. Sometimes it takes few hours. So you really look for yourself. You can even do it in front of the mirror, just get up and try to watch. And then with the racket head speed, it's just getting the feel, right? Trying to really time the racket head speed, and sometimes you're gonna miss some. So let's say we're gonna go for a kick serve now. Get the kick maybe, and then we're gonna slice next one with the nice racket head speed. There you go. Now I'm gonna go for a flat serve. There you go. And each time I accelerated through the point of contact, right? So I didn't want to slow down. A lot of times also, another myth that people have, well, you got to slow down the racket at speed on the second serve because it's dangerous. You don't want to double fault. But in reality, you have to accelerate even more sometimes, especially on the kick serve and the slice serve, because you want to generate more rotation. So you're not going to go through the ball as much. You're not going to generate so much pace as much as you're generating RPM. So the pace of the ball is going to decrease a little bit, the speed of the ball, but rotation is going to increase, and you're going to stay away. Of course, you're going to stay away from your lines a little bit more to make the serve more consistent. That's the key, because you don't want to be going blast the first serve and then you go there and push it. You see, you're not generating enough rotation on it. Your opponent is going to step in and tee off on the return. All right, guys, so this is very important part. Easy to practice with the racket at speed. You just got to get timing. You got to get practicing. Do a few repetitions. And with this, it's just few shadow swings. And make sure you record yourself. Put a phone in the back. There is enough equipment out there you can use to record yourself and actually see the difference. You can do side by side even with some pro tennis players and see if it helps you out. Thank you so much for watching this video, and we'll see you next time. Make sure you like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Watch our Instagram. We have so many stories coming out, and we'll see you next time.